The Osun Governorship election on August 15th is, of course, one of Nigeria's most closely watched contests. 14 candidates are on the ballot, but the race has sharpened into a tense three-way fight between incumbent Governor Ademola Adeleke of the Accord Party, Bola Oyebamiji of the APC and Najeem Salam of the ADC. Now, beyond the campaigns, rising political incitements, security allegations and fears of violence now dominate the conversation. The real question is whether Osun can deliver a credible and peaceful election. Of course, joining the conversation right now is Oladotun Hassan, the special advisor to the Osun State Governor on legislative matters. I also have, as my guest this evening, Ismail Omipidan is a former chief press secretary, of course, joining this conversation too, virtually from Osun State. Thank you for your time, gentlemen.
Thank you. The pleasure is mine. It's a pleasure to be in your program.
All right. Let me just first start with you, Mr. Oladotun Hassan. I mean, it's just a few days, barely just less than 5 days left before the big day in Osun State, the governorship election. A lot of issues have been raised around security, around trust, around logistics, and around the political atmosphere itself. For you, what is your take? I know that one big issue that has been talked about is security, and we've seen a lot of people sue for peace. Where do you, I mean, from the standpoint of the government of the state, are there still concerns on security?
Well, good evening. Well, and point of correction, my name is Soko Oladotun Hassan, the special advisor to the governor of Osun State on legislative matters. Very important for us to acknowledge that His Excellency Senator Ademola Jackson Adeleke is prepared, just as the good people of Osun State are prepared for the election come Saturday, 15th August 2026. And we believe strongly it's based on the track records of the governor that gave him the full blessing of the good people, and he has delivered worthy enough to be re-elected, and those are the judgment. And election is more like a judgment day for a performing or a non-performing governor. And believe you me, the atmosphere is well charged to elect and to re-elect the executive governor, His Excellency, back in office. But however, we have been faced with numerous crises of insecurity, of attack, of intimidation, especially from the angle of the APC, and that have been reported at several points in time, that these are not the ingredient that defines democracy, which is the opium for the people, by the people, and for the people. And where the people are now being choked into force, that is intimidation, oppression of man by man, injustice, and the ravaged interference by law enforcement agencies. And we've witnessed that is the high-handedness and the recklessness, both by officials and stewards who are expected to be regarded as members of the hallowed chambers, are more defining themselves in the most harrowing definition. And we've witnessed that from the two double Francis, that is Francis Fadaosi and Francis Enya. They both are candidates of the APC, one is of the Boripe. Both of them, which I expected that both of them ought to be invited, not just Senator Fadaosi alone. The statement, no matter how the senator wants to misrepresent and without remorse, grandstanding, that those statements he made were to be misinterpreted. Which an average Yoruba man, an average Yoruba right thinking knows that those statements, instead of the, those statements were reckless, instead of the distinguished senator to come out and make himself distinguished by apologizing. Instead of that, he still went further to say, you kill them by vote. Is there any space in our constitution whereby voters are meant to be killed by votes. There is no space for such a lexicon. And that introduction should be warned by security agencies so that such should not be introduced into our
just
electoral
to come in
values.
here, please hold on. Just to come in here, the police actually did invite the senator, and of course, he honored that invitation. You can see that on the screen there, where of course the senator did honor the invitation on inciting pre-election matters. But let me leave you for a moment, sir, and bring in, of course, the next guest, Mr. Omipidan. Mr. Omipidan, what do you have to say? The political atmosphere in Osun State right now in lieu of this election.
Well, for me, I think that the security operatives have been making their efforts to ensure that we have a free, fair election. I believe that with the plans on ground, with the deployment of about 30 commissioners of police, together with other security personnel, I believe very strongly that the election will be held under a peaceful atmosphere. Don't forget that before every election in Osun, we usually go through similar scenario. The only difference is that that of this season appear more heightened than several others. Regardless, I believe very strongly that the people will drop out en masse to cast their ballot in another 3 days from now.
All right, thank you. We'll go on a quick break. When we return, we'll explore other angles to this election, particularly how all of this might in any way affect voter behavior on that day. Stay with us, we'll be right back. Of course, you're still watching Politics HQ on News Central Television, and I still, of course, have my guest at this time, Oladotun Hassan, Special Advisor to the Osun State Governor on legislative matters. I also have, of course, on the conversation right now, Ismail Omipidan is the former Chief Press Secretary of Osun State. Thank you for staying with me, gentlemen. Now, let me, of course, come to you, sir, Special Advisor to the Governor on legislative matters. With all of the heightened tension right now, or perceived heightened tension in the state, you see a situation whereby voters will still come out?
Definitely, and that's why we are here to equally reassure voters that the good people of Osun State, by their DNA, are very peaceful people. They are, you know, you can always describe them as Omoluabi par excellence, and that has always defined the people of Osun State. Not that Osun is an election-prone state that is always designed to be for war, except for desperation and for those that are really beating the drum of war, of killing them, of maiming them, of not allowing them to come, or disenfranchising through threat. And that, to me, anybody within Osun State that is within the APC needed to cover their faces and ensure that they go in their family house to talk rightly to themselves, not just because we are all working towards winning a trophy on 15th of August, but in reassuring the people, because the people comes first in whatever we are doing. For any political party that fails that first test of the people, then that particular party do not have the good omen of serving the people. And what gives assurance in democracy is the kind of characters that you see flying the party's candidate when they eventually get to the House of Assembly, maybe at the national. Are they the same kind of members from the House of Reps in like of Enyade Francis and Senator Fada Onsian? We have a lot of threat statements that have been linked on causing this provocative crisis, and that's why the law enforcement agents, I'm using this medium to salute the IGP Tunji Disu to uphold his ground, to ensure that no one is above the law. But at the same time, in as much as governorship candidates have signed the peace pact, they should work within the letters of that peace pact. They shouldn't see that it's just meant for them alone as candidates, but rather people who are members of their political party needed to be guided. And that's why we are reassuring that every good people of Osun State should come outside, from Ile-Ife to Ilesha to Osogbo, everybody to Iwo. Let everyone come out early. No one will intimidate you. No one will harass you, because we must appreciate Mr. President for ensuring that there is high-level security on ground. And that security is a reassurance that our democracy has come to stay.
All right, thank you very much. How about you, Mr. Omipidan?
Let me say this. Having served in the previous administration and having experienced raw display of crude power by the incumbent governor, I want to say with all sense of modesty that whatever violence we are witnessing in Osun today was made possible because the governor has refused to behave like a statesman. And I will give one or two instances to buttress my argument. On the day this governor was sworn in, November 27th, 2022, right at the stadium on the ground of his swearing in, that was when his supporters began to unleash terror and violence on Amotekun personnel. Now, as if that was not enough, the next day they took to the streets, attacking and burning down vehicles of perceived supporters of the APC. Again, when his former CSO, as at that time he was a serving police officer, killed 2 persons in Ede, I personally authored the press release calling for investigation into the circumstances that led to that situation. But the feedback we got at the time was that the man had been penciled down to be appointed the chief security officer to the then governor-elect. And by November, when the man was eventually sworn in as the governor, he went ahead to appoint this same police officer as the CSO. This same police officer today is the head of Amotekun personnel. For me, if you dissect the character and personality of the police officer very well, for a governor to appoint such a character as the head of the state security personnel, we also tell you the kind of personality of the governor.
I mean,
there are known criminals, there are known courtiers who are appointees of the governor.
You have raised
when the people of the state,
Mr. Omipidan, you have raised very strong allegations here, because we are really trying to manage time.
These issues are in the public domain.
Can you just allow Mr. Dotun respond? Because I would want to take his response on this.
Can you allow me land on my thoughts?
Okay, please land on your thoughts, sir. Quickly land on your thoughts.
Fine.
Yes,
Thank you very much.
I'm highly disappointed in Mr. Omipidan's...
Please hold on, Mr. Dotun. Please hold on. Mr. Omipidan, 30 seconds.
If you Google the internet as we speak, Google search for Ajagungbade Emir. There's a viral video of him inside the government house admitting other known political talks into the government house premises.
All right, thank you very much. Thank you.
The man that has been declared wanted by the police.
Can you allow me to speak?
Thank you.
These are the kind of recklessness that is in the DNA of the APC members in Osun State. And I believe it's quite unfortunate that they are too good to speak lies. And these lies have really engulfed their frustrations. And that's why at any beck and call, instead of them to talk about achievements and their programs, they go straight to be talking about lies and unfounded allegations, most of which they are the culprits and they are culpable of all these atrocities. And I'm just mentioning a realistic issue that a member of the APC have just made a spurious statement, not just a member now, 2 within a space of 24 hours made the same statement that members of a core party should be killed. In a democratic society, I expect Mr. Omipidan to come on here to apologize on behalf of the party, not to come and grandstand without remorse. Because if you continue to ride on the blood and flesh and the pains of the people, at the expense of power pursuit, you are just more or less making a militarized system, not a democracy.
Thank you very much.
So for me, the governor of Osun State is an Omoluabi par excellence. We have all seen his demeanor.
All right, thank you very much. I'm afraid this is the bit time will permit tonight.
I'd
like to say a big thank you to my guests
and I'm sure
this evening. Thank you so much. This, of course, is what time will permit. I wish we had ample time to continue this conversation. Ismail Omipidan is the former Chief Press Secretary of Osun State. He's joining virtually, of course, from Osun State. I also have, of course, my guest, Oladotun Hassan, Special Advisor to the Osun State Governor on Legislative Matters. He also joined virtually from Osun State. Gentlemen, it's been great having you on the program this evening. Thank you so much.